everybody, and welcome back to Mysteries of the Maw. Hope you're having a lovely day. Thank you for joining us for another episode. Last we left off, the group had descended into the Maw after much, I wouldn't say infighting, but perhaps disagreements about things that were conducted and things that happened. And Mal's ended up heading into the Maw after some unknown reason being drawn in, and the group went in afterwards. To find him, they ended up descending down into the Maw, getting into a fight with some scary kind of almost Slender Man-like creatures and some tentacles. And as they started to run away, as a larger creature entered the area, they all were yanked into a storage container to find Mal's hiding in there. And we're going to pick up right where we left off. Inside that storage container, the large creature has moved past you. It's the sound of its heavy footfalls has faded off into the distance, leaving kind of an eerie silence within this very metallic, almost like storage container that you all are in with very, very little light.
I think at this point, since Els is in Craig's arms and we are face to face with Mal's, as I said last time, I just flick Mal's in the forehead, being like, "What the fuck were you thinking? Are you coherent right now?"
I put my hand over her mouth, and I'm just like, I slowly peek around to see if the thing is completely out of view.
You don't see it anywhere.
Okay.
Go ahead and give me a read a bad situation, though. Just in case.
That's an 11.
An 11? Mm. So from your short tenure within the Maw, you know it's not a safe place to be, but for the moment, you seem to be doing all right. It seems to have moved on.
From point A to point B, right? From whatever happened to me getting here, do I have recollection of all that?
When you came to, you were in the Maw. And then you started to get chased by creatures down here. So then you ran down into the Maw to try to find safety and perhaps what you're looking for.
I gesture to Els and to Kreg. You're here, right?
Yeah. I'm literally holding Els.
Everybody's in there.
Everybody. Oh, that's right. Everybody's in here. So I let go. I'm like, why are we here?
Why are we here? Why are you here?
You are the reason that we are here.
I was on the ship, and I saw Ben, and then there was Els, and you guys were working on the blowtorch, and next thing I know, I'm running, and I'm being chased by these squid creatures. I've been hiding in here. I just happened to hear you guys running down here. I want to do a quick, whatever the equivalent of a perception is, as my eyes adjust to kind of scan everybody. Because if I'm in the Maw and I've had my interactions with Ben in the past, I'm a little skeptical of what's real and what isn't.
Okay. So you just want to look around, or you want to?
Yeah, just kind of investigate everybody. So maybe an investigate.
Read us.
Yeah. Make sure we are real.
Yeah. Make sure I'm not going through an episode.
Go ahead and give me another. Give me an investigate a mystery.
Okay. It's a 5.
That mark and experience.
Hey,
they all seem fine, frazzled, beaten up, but tangible. I mean, you felt the flick on your forehead from Els, so right.
I really quickly I look at Kreg and I'm like, I've never once used your name before. What do I usually call you?
You may call me Kreg.
I don't call you Kreg, though. What do I call you? I start backing up a little bit from them.
I call him Money Man.
You call me Suit.
I feel like I'm going crazy. And I don't know if you guys are real. I don't know if anything is real. I keep hearing Ben in my head, and I kind of just collapse on the side of the container and slide down onto the floor. Just kind of trying to gather myself.
At this point, Els is going to climb down from Craig's arms and just kind of like scale down and just like pat your calf and just like kind of give a nod of thank you. And I want to... I guess it's investigate a mystery, but I want to see if Mal's is harmed, if there's any lesions on him, or if there's any external thing about him that could potentially give insight as to how he was forced to walk away and actually black out. Before he was seeing visions, but now this is blacking out. That's something that has extremely progressed farther than what we originally had before for data.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it. Roll me that investigate a mystery.
Ooh, total success. 6s plus 2 is 14.
Okay. So you don't see any like lesions or marks on Mal's like they're infected. You know, what you notice, I think the most, Mal's, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is like the bags under his eyes. You know, that whatever, you know, you've learned now that this is a psionic thing, you know, and it probably got to Mal's because Mal's hasn't really rested or been allowed to rest. And so his faculties are weaker than they normally would have been.
So the last time that you recall, you were conscious, but exhausted. You didn't fall asleep and then get taken?
I don't think I fell asleep. Last thing I remember is you telling me to stop messing with a blowtorch.
Honestly, I should have tied you up in the chair.
If I may.
Please.
Are we certain that this mouse is real? It brings up a good point of not knowing whether we are real. And I think, Dr. Nicolai, is there any sort of magic or spell that you can cast that would reveal to all of us the truth? Do you have any sort of tool like that?
Sorry, random call, but I'm not answering. I think firstly, there is a clear understanding that Nikolai is not necessarily separate from the group, but he's like just not really a part of the conversation, just kind of looking around, but also probably internally processing. But he'll finally turn over and stare at Mal, and like without even speaking, his eyes just fractalize immediately. I'm going to use magic, and
Okay.
I'm going to I guess I'm going to... I mean, the effect isn't necessarily one of the effects. I just want to see if there's anything... I know that he's Maw touched in some way, shape, or form because he's down here. But I just want to see if it's him or if it's like a shadow of him.
Okay. Go ahead and roll use magic.
Yeah. That is an 11.
An 11? So when you, like, your eyes fractalize and you look upon Mal's, it is the Mal's you know. But what you see, it's almost like everyone's shadows are kind of casting upon the wall, right? You know, like with the slight like lantern light in here. But for Mal's, you see two shadows.
Is the other shadow doing anything or just connected?
It just looks like it's connected.
And I ascertain, I'm just looking at the light source and things, knowing how some of these things work. I'm pretty sure I can tell where his shadow should be?
Yes, it is not. That second shadow is not in the correct place.
Great. You all are going to see him kind of like look at Mouse for a moment. His eyes are going to shift down, look up towards the light in the room, look back down, look over. Have you touched anything while you were down here?
I mean, doors, hallways, as I'm scampering and trying to claw my way through this place. I can't think of any time that I've touched one of the creatures or that it's touched me. I say, Els checked me, and I don't know if she found any lesions. I didn't put up much of a fight. Not that I could. She'd check me one way or another.
No abnormalities from what I saw.
Then I need you to not move for just a moment. Eyes are going to gloss over again, and it's going to be almost as if I'm reaching out and like twisting at the same time, as if I'm like opening a door. At least that's the motion you see, and as I do, specifically in the effects, I'm going to just to be safe. This is going to be a hex.
Okay.
So the intended effect is going to be banishing a spirit or a curse from a person, object, or place it inhabits. I'm trying to banish the shadow, the secondary shadow.
Okay.
And cause it damage if it's actually a problem.
Okay. So do you have to roll for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my,
Yeah.
That's why I like hexing, because I can do extra stuff.
Fancy.
Another 11.
So you reach out to get rid of this thing, and as you do, you just hear this kind of and you see the shadow just fade.
Does Mel feel anything when that happens?
You feel lighter. Maybe less exhausted.
Okay.
Something was latched onto you like a leech. Not sure if it was draining you or if it was affecting you mentally, physically, emotionally, but something was upon you. It's gone now.
Mal gets up to his feet, brushes himself off. I appreciate that, and I'm sorry for whatever I've caused and brought us into. I know that we weren't ready to go into the maw, and this is my fault.
He kind of looks Mal in the eye. I think this is the first time he's actually looked at Mal in his eye. Everyone makes mistakes. And for a moment, his eyes kind of like just glance around the room. It would seem that some are forgiven sooner than others. But as long as we know how to move forward.
Boo-hoo! And Els is going to go through the compartment that they're in, looking for supplies.
Okay. So you begin, so it's not a huge compartment. It's maybe about like 12 feet long. This looks like it was a storage container that, from the battle or whatever just got lodged in here. Most of the food that you find, the rations that you find, are rotted or, just completely like disintegrated. But you do find what looks like from an era, kind of pre-tree drowning, you find a flashlight. And essentially it looks like they had rigged an arcane crystal that has the light, like rune on the front of it, that you could use as a flashlight. Okay. But that's about all you find within this container.
Any med kits?
Not in this particular container, no.
Sorry, what did she find?
A flashlight.
Okay.
Speaking of moving on, what were you going to say, Els?
Based on our last encounter, I don't know what that monster was, that weird olive-shaped, gangly thing. but light can be helpful down here, but also it can attract the monsters. I think it was going after me because I flashed my flashlight at it. So.
Oh.
Did you see the creature? Mouse?
I think it's the same thing that I was running from when I came to.
Not the big glowy guy.
You did see him, Mels. Like he was
I saw
also
the big glow guy.
Yeah, the big guy was pursuing you as well.
Yeah, it's been an all-you-can-eat buffet down here, and I was the main course. Okay, so.
Does anyone need healing?
I believe out of all of us, you are the one who is in the need of most healing.
I can tend to my own wounds. I just wanted to know if anyone else needed help.
She's just gonna take things from her bag and just start taking out bandages. I don't know what check I need to make though.
Because we did this once before, and it's not necessarily in the book. I know.
Well, someone was helping me, so that was
right.
Or
I think the last time you healed yourself, the first time I helped you.
recovery, I think it is.
Hmm.
No.
So roll me plus oh my goodness.
Would this be an act under pressure check or just or would it just be cool?
Yeah, let's roll 2d6 plus cool.
8 plus 1, 9.
9. So you're gonna heal 2 harm.
Yay! Okay.
Yeah.
Because if we're going back out again, Els is gonna go down again.
Yeah.
So she's taking out the bandages and tearing them with her sharp teeth and just bandaging the arm that the vampire-ish olive-headed guy bit and started like absorbing her magic. So she's going to bandage that up and stuff everything back and just be like, okay, I'm ready.
As folks are, I guess, kind of tending to themselves, because it's not like other systems where it's like in 6 seconds this thing happens. During that, I think Nicolai is just going to go to the door and just stop and just kind of like pause and like almost internally begin to listen. If you'll allow me, I would love to do my premonition.
Yeah, please go for it.
Thank you. That is 10. I can math for a second.
With a 10, you step to the door and you begin to listen. And what you hear or what you feel is probably one of the more confusing of your visions that you've had. As everything you see is pearly white. It's like almost like spotlight, like you could see yourself in the reflection of this room. The lights buzz. And the lights, like they put off this kind of, it's almost hurtful to look at. And you look around and it smells like bleach. It smells, but it smells so much like bleach you can almost get that secondary smell of what they're trying to cover up with that smell. Which is it's just this old, almost rotting like smell that's just under that really strong bleach smell. And you realize you can't move your arms. And you can't move your feet. And you hear the sound of a door open. And the sound of footfalls. And a chair being pulled out from a table in front of you. And an old man sitting down. And he goes, "Well, Nico, it's time to talk." And then you're back. in the storage compartment.
I think that makes him physically stumble back. You know, when you're trying to move and you can't move and you finally have a chance to move, but you've moved too hard because you've been trying to exert so much pressure, so much effort, I should say. He definitely like stumbles back for a second. Okay. My apologies. I just needed to go into myself for a moment, but that was unexpected.
What does Branwen feel when Nico has their premonitions?
Ooh. I guess I'll ask, do they feel everything I'm feeling in that moment? Or let me rephrase, do they feel what physical Nico is feeling, or would they feel what's inside as the premonition's happening?
So I feel like it would probably end up being what you're feeling while you're seeing what you're seeing.
I agree. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then before I answer that question, do I recognize the old man and or the voice?
No.
Esports. Okay. Then panic. Well, confusion. Trying to understand. Sudden panic. Not fear panic, just adrenaline. An inquisitiveness, a lot of confusion, and then back into no.
You see Branwen kind of like reel back a little bit when you have this premonition and go, you really keep a tight lid on things. That is so interesting. Almost as if that came out of her without her thinking. She approaches you quietly. Nico, if we're going to be sharing this ability, I don't have as good a handle on my emotions as you do. So we're gonna have to figure out how you handle anger real quick.
There's a moment he looks at you and it's another form of confusion, but it's more like almost like the best way I can describe this is whenever Lara Croft and the old Tomb Raiders find something and she's like, aha. It's very specific.
That's so specific, but I get it.
That tracks.
But it's a moment of, oh shit. There, huh? And he goes, were you connected even in that vision?
I don't think we can turn it off.
Well, if it means anything, it is quite hard to get me actually angry. I can find a logical way out of that specific feeling. Not saying it doesn't happen, and there have been moments recently, but I think that will be fine. But I will try my best to clue you in when moments arise.
This is going to take a lot more communication than I think the two of us are used to. And I actually think this might be a little bit of a good thing.
I tend to work alone. Yes, I tend to be efficient, but I understand that this is a lot more than any of the five of us can handle. So, I will continue doing what I can, but I hope you understand, as I believe I understand, that we are potentially two of the most volatile here in different ways. So, looks like we have to get used to each other.
Good. Glad we're on the same page. Returning to the rest of the group. All right. We have a few decisions that we need to make. Really, mainly two. We came down here to get Mal. We have Mal. We can either go further into the Maw, since we're already here, or we can maybe try to get out. What do you feel like we can do?
Well, I believe our means of exit was blocked off when someone caused rocks to tumble down to try and attempt to slow down our pursuer.
We could try to move those rocks, but I see your point.
The risk of creating a lot of noise, and to get out, I believe we will need to find another way.
Yeah. I think you're right.
I wish that I weren't. But, Mouse, in your time down here running, what paths have you followed? Where have you been?
I remember the stairs coming down and then being chased. And then it's just been dark hallway after dark hallway. Everything kind of blends in. I'm not sure how deep I am. I'm not sure how far we've made it. I'm lucky I found this container to hide in and to try to gather myself before I found you guys. So I don't know if the way that the thing chasing you goes deeper or if it goes further out.
It pursued us from higher up. The route we came from was descending.
So then we can assume that the way it went is further into the maw then.
That seems likely.
The question is, if we attempt to leave, what is our purpose? To reinforce ourselves before coming back? I think we all understand that we have to come back. The question is, do we delay the inevitable? Or do we gather our spirits or whatever we have within us? His eye just flicks over to Kreg for just a moment at that sentence before looking, continuing to scan. And continue forth.
I think we've heard it before. All are welcome in the collective. So whether we do now or whether we do later, one way or another, this thing wants us here. And we're going to end up having to come back anyways.
A point of clarification. All are welcome in the collective is not a invitation. I believe it's more of a mantra. It is their purpose. So, while yes, I believe you are on the right path, that it does want us, it's not necessarily us. It's
right.
All. But that doesn't mean not to be on your guard. Or as much on your guard as you can. Speaking of, and I think he eyes the baseball bat at this point.
I was gonna say, I've been waiting to bring this up this whole time. Not bad. There was some supplies here, and it was either this or a golf club, and I've never gone golfing.
This is going to sound both antagonistic and you are going to feel inferior for just a moment.
Dr. Nicolai, there's nothing that you could say that won't already make me feel inferior. I'm surrounded by a woman that can transform into a monster. All right, I'm surrounded by a suit that's got more money than I can probably count to, and who's got God knows what power. Your eyes do a weird kaleidoscope thing. All right, elves can skitter on all fours in ways that I don't think is natural. I had a gun and a bat, and that's all I am. I can make a mean old-fashioned.
Then that actually answers my question. You understand the risk, correct?
That's what I signed up for.
Then if we're all going to be efficient, and he's going to hold out his hand, and it's more leaned down towards the bat.
Yeah, I do one of those cool kid things where I flip it so that I grab the other end, the bat end, and then I get the handle to him.
I'm going to hold it and like look at it for a moment. And then I think Branwen is going to get the feeling of a choice being made. And he's going to suddenly turn and look at Els. I know what I can do. Is there anything you can do to also reinforce this so he is not, to be quite blunt, useless?
I'd like to think of myself as mundane, thank you.
I like that word better.
It hurts a little less.
It's not meant to be offensive. Just
No. It does take the sting away, though. I'll be honest.
I have a way of enchanting, but I know you have other peculiarities, ways of artifice.
What did you have in mind? What are you going to do?
I'm going to simply put arcane etchings into the very molecular DNA of this bat to make it stronger. But I'm doing something on the inside. Can you do anything on the outside? Consider this a truce.
For moves, I have the preparedness. When you need something unusual or rare, roll sharp to see if you have it on hand. And I did make note last time that I carried a giant rucksack with me so I could be prepared.
Correct.
So I'd like to use that move right now, please.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for it.
Go.
Nine plus 2, 11.
Okay.
So if you're going to be infusing it with arcane, do you want something spiky on the outside? Do you want me to be able to...
And she like takes like from her rucksack like these nails, but they're hollow on the inside.
Potentially I could help infuse the bat with these nails and weld them into place. And whatever arcane magic you have is able to pinpoint spike out of the bat. Is that an option?
Looks at Mal. What is your flavor?
Listen, if this is, I can make you a mojito, okay? You're asking me what kind of damned nuclear weapon you want to put in my hand. I think that would be fitting, though. I think that would make sense. I can hit something with it, and then if I can send out a pulse of whatever arcane magic is in the center of it, yeah, I think that'll work.
Then, Dr. Nicolai, I ask that we use either fire or radiant, if you are capable of etching that into the bat.
He thinks for a moment. Then he looks at Kreg. I know what I can do, but I'm curious if I can pinpoint a sense of light utilizing your equation.
I don't know how much help I can be in this matter, unfortunately. Once I was rather skilled at imbuing magic and the arcane into a variety of different things, but I have since lost all such skill and ability. I don't know how much I can help you, but I trust that you certainly can accomplish what you are seeking to do if you want to use what I have entrusted to you.
There's a moment his eyebrow raises, but he shakes his head. That has been kept upon the ship per your request. But very well. Looks back at Els. Then perhaps we should get this done before we go forward. With that, you'll see him almost like take one of his nails. Like they're not sharp or anything like that, but like, you know, they're pristine, manicured, if you will. But he almost
French
begins
tipped.
to, yes. Bastion tipped, sorry. No, and almost begin to like write on the bat itself. And as he's doing like this imprint is starting to be placed upon these runes and writings and scripts. And I'm going to use magic. I mean, I don't think this will be a big magic thing, but I'm going to use magic, and specifically, I can enchant a weapon, and it gets a +1 harm and plus magic. So it's a magical weapon with additional +1 on top of whatever Els is going to do.
Dope.
So I'll roll.
So Els already succeeded in their roll.
Oh,
so now you
great,
got to make
great,
yours.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Double ones, huh?
I'm deciding if I use a luck or not.
Can I use a luck instead? No, because it's his.
I'm gonna offer you a choice, CB, really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So, because fun, on the outside it'll look like you're working on it, right? But you will know that the enchantment didn't take. You can decide whether to, and I'm going to tell you, like, if you decide to use a luck point and succeed, all this goes away. But if you don't, and you want to take the failure, then I leave that information up to you whether to share it or not. Because it looks like you did something to it, but you know nothing took.
This is a debate that doesn't even be had, but it's just now I'm weighing everything. I don't think based on what happened already, based on current feelings, And even more so based on the conversation he just had with Branwen. Oh, you get immediate, when you're pressing against a glass so hard that it's about to break, that pressure of knowing that you have the ability to make sure it doesn't break, and the stress of if it does, there's a level of, I don't want to fuck up again. But I also know that there's almost a chill that would go down Branwen's spine because there's something darker behind him actually making this happen. And I think you will feel that glass suddenly almost like reverse itself and make sure that it's as strong as possible. I'm gonna use a luck point.
Okay, you're gonna use a luck point. Okay.
Yeah.
So the enchantment takes. Just wanted to give you a fun little offer.
I like the offer, but
fun.
I don't think that was the one. He's not going to intentionally sabotage the party.
Right.
Just me beating on a glob. They're immune to everything.
And Els, what is your work on the bat look like?
So, I think, like, working along with the cinematography that CB created, as he's inscribing, I feel as though the letters and script are etched into the bat, but there isn't any color to it yet. So Els is there with her little fire torch and the nails, waiting to fuse them together, and she's kind of like looking at the script, and in that moment where Nicolai chooses to use that extra power to infuse the bat, the letters light up with a vivid yellow orange, and she then starts nailing in place and fusing together the nails that then seem to glow as though it's like very sharp, but they're kind of like volcanoes almost, where it's
like a needle point hollowed.
Needle point, and you can see at the top that there are just these red hot beads of just fire embers that when hit would just do searing damage, but it's precision. It is little deep cuts into whatever is hit, and the inscriptions are underneath each nail that's hammered in. So as Nicolai continues to inscribe, Els is following along, welding the nails to it.
Okay. While this is going on,
yes,
I would like to do something. Y'all would see Kreg just go over to the door to kind of like keep watch, just to kind of listen and focus. But I want to try and sneakily take out Mal's gun and take out the rounds. And individually, I want to imbue with what I got into those.
Make the roll.
I presume this is just plus weird?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I thought that using magic is weird.
Okay. So 8 on the dice for a total of 7. So I'm bad at weird.
So you start getting it going, right? And like 1 bullet's enchanted, 2 bullets enchanted. You get about 4 bullets in, and then you feel yourself kind of like almost lightheaded. As like that's enough for now for you. If you push it further, it's not going to be good for you.
Okay.
Can I notice that he's doing that?
Me too, because I've seen it before.
Being intentionally sneak.
Oh,
Right,
I know,
so
that's why I'm asking.
you're working on the bat. The only person that I really would allow to look is Branwen. So Branwen, go ahead and roll me. Let's see. Roll me investigate a mystery, please. So roll plus sharp.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm so fascinated by what these people are doing to this bat. I'm
I think it's
I'm just like,
probably
Yeah.
really cool.
He's like,
It's a
wow,
wow,
it's a really cool bat.
you will when me find me Zhao.
That's
wow,
a
throwback of a
10.
reference. 10.
right.
You do see Kreg like walk over the door, kind of like look out, and then like from his jacket pull a gun, and you just see these little like with his back turned. Yes, Kreg. Go ahead.
I mean, if I was just going to describe kind of
Yeah,
what it would
you
look
describe
like.
it. You describe it.
So back turned, I guess. Would you say Branwen's able to see like the gun itself with how I'm facing? Because I kind of like intentionally pulled it from my jacket, so it was directly in front of me, so my back was to the rest of the
I would
party.
say then, Branwen, you just see him fiddling with something.
Yeah.
Facing away, like fiddling from behind.
I'm gonna walk over to you, man. Bronwyn walks up. She almost spooks you, honestly, because I think you're so focused on putting magic into bullets that you don't notice a half monster lady coming up behind you. What are you doing, Kreg?
I think when you come up, this is when it hits me, that exhaustion. And you actually, I almost like fall into you a little bit. There's this moment of just kind of stumbling. And in that stumble, I am going to very quickly put everything back and kind of just, I don't even tuck it away. It just kind of disappears. The gun itself just, and all the bullets just totally disappear.
I have to know for story reasons. Do you catch him as he stumbles into you?
I do.
Got it. How
Hey,
do you catch?
Dr.
How do you catch him?
I catch him and he like falls like right like so he's super freaking tall, right? And
Yeah.
and Bronwyn's pretty tall too, but he's not that tall, so he kind of like smushes into her face a little bit. She goes, whoa, 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 whoa. She like grabs your shoulders like very firmly but gently. And Dr. Nico, you catch Bronwyn's heart rate go up like slightly. And she
Sorry.
Are you okay? What's going on?
Just this place. It gets to you.
Yeah, tell me about it. Do you need help with something?
No. I'll be fine. I simply I think we could all use rest, but I know that is simply not coming. But I thank you for catching me just there. It was not my intention to fall over at any point, but I appreciate your concern greatly.
You know, for what it's worth, I am sorry about everything. It's nobody's fault, really. I think we're all very stressed. But I want you to know that we don't have to keep secrets. Because we don't know if we're going to get out of here. So we need to know that we can trust each other. Does that make sense?
When you say we don't have to keep secrets, Kreg does avert his gaze. He looks away from you. And where he's at, he's not careful, at least with his own face. And just, I would say briefly, it, instead of like a pupil and an iris and everything, because he doesn't have those, but you just see what looks like a snowflake. like just a pure snowflake crystal right where his pupil would be. On the one eye that, since he's kind of turned away, you just kind of see it very briefly. But it goes away pretty quick.
I understand.
And he looks right back at you.
Okay. All
I
right.
promise I will be as open, vulnerable, and transparent as I can. There are some things that for lack of a better way to describe it, are not worth sharing.
Oof. Yeah. Okay. I understand that. That is valid.
The two of you near the door begin to hear thump, thump, thump. Those loud footsteps begin to echo outside again.
Really quickly, just before we move forward, two things. One, when Snowflake happened, what was Branwen's feeling?
Curious, intrigued, and hopeful.
Okay. Secondly, because it was just a really good moment of lining timelines up. When heart rate skipped is when Nico effed up.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
I like the flavor on that. Yep.
Luke, were you going to say something?
Instinctually, Kreg is just kind of actually going to grab Bronwyn and put an ear right up to the door, like kind of grab her and pull her to the side so that if anything busts through the door, he's in between the door and her.
So as you kind of shush Branwen, you hear this ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. The footsteps get closer and closer and closer, and they stop dead in front of the door.
Do we all feel that, or just them?
It's audible to all of you.
Us.
Yeah.
I'm kind of tugging at the back. I don't know if you guys are done yet, but I'm just trying to get it back.
And that for a moment there's just silence. And then you hear this loud scratching noise, like this loud along the door. And then the footsteps continue to go up. Ba-doom, 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 and head up back where you came from.
I look at Bronwyn.
Mm-hmm.
And I
currently in the arms of Kreg.
In the arms of a Kreg. There's a moment of a sense of brace yourself, I guess. A sense of hold tight. Not literally, no. But as you said, we all can feel that something's out there.
You all, yeah. Well, and you two especially felt that same feeling of a secondary alpha predator in the area.
Alphas don't exist.
You know what I mean.
Listen, as somebody named Omega, we gotta cut that.
Something that could rival you
fair.
Came near.
As it stops, my eyes are going to fractalize just for a moment because I have to. I'm going to tune in to whatever is out there, more so I can understand its intention.
Okay, roll for it.
Because it stopped. Yes, we heard a scratch, Context clue says something is now marked outside, but that's half of the battle.
Mm-hmm.
And I have now an ability to tune into monsters.
Mm-hmm.
So let's find out. Amazing. Esports. That is an 11.
Okay. So this allows you to do what exactly?
I can on a 10 or plus, I can hold 3. On a 7 or 9, I can hold 1. On a miss, the monster becomes aware of you. The monster won't become aware that I've gotten into it.
Okay.
And I can spend a hold to ask the keeper one of the following questions and gain a 1+1 ongoing while acting on the answers. What is it planning to do?
What you know right now is it's looking for Mal's.
Okay. So I'm just going to quickly notate I have a +1 on acting on that, trying to protect Mal's. That's good. And I guess that's really the main thing, because other things are more like what's it doing right now and who's it regard. I'm assuming it was. Well, I guess I'll ask that. Who does it regard as his biggest threat? Mal? That's notable, if so.
So, Mal, like what you get when you tune in, Mal is prey.
Oh, fuck.
That's fucked.
The thing in here that it regards as the biggest threat.
It's fucking guns, dude. Fucking.
You're confused by the answer because it's, you tuned into a creature, a monster.
Mm-hmm.
But the answer is a word. It's a name. And it's grandfather.
Daddy? What?
Daddy, sorry. Okay.
Grandpappy?
Then I'm just going to. That's all I'm going to do, I guess.
Okay.
Because I had that ability. I'm using it because it's useful.
Made me stressed a little bit. It's like,
No.
No.
Listen, I am not reckless. Nico
2 episodes ago.
It is one of his issues, okay, on my character sheet. Okay, cool. I was not worried about failing in that one. I just wasn't. I'm like, no. Anyway, okay, great. I think I guess his head just turns towards Mal for a moment, and it's more so just like Branwen gets immediately protective.
With the monster gone and everybody on high alert, is everyone done so we can go?
I agree. With it heading back out, I believe our time to explore further in is now.
I've got my bat. I'm happy.
Oh, speaking of...
And reaches into his jacket and pulls out the gun.
Before I see the gun, when you reach in, instinct kicks in for a second of multiple people that have done this to me, and my bat's up for a second.
Pull out the gun, and I see that.
If it will make you feel better.
And I just hold out the gun with the butt of the gun pointed towards you, and the barrel of it is pointed at me. And that is intentional.
I grew up in the city. Usually I just grab the gun. I take the mag out. Check. Chamber around. Do I notice anything different about my gun? Because I would want to investigate it. Because it's been out of my possession, and it's never out of my possession.
Does your enhancement on the bullets do anything besides from just imbuing it?
I'm going to message you with what I think they're going to do.
Okay.
But I think there's no
physical
visual element.
Okay, got it. Yeah, go ahead and message me. So you have your gun back now, Mels.
Cool. I tuck it in my holster.
Mm-hmm.
I regard Kreg by name for the first time. I appreciate you finding this, Kreg, for me. Kindness that won't forget anytime soon. Thank you.
You are welcome, Mouse. I apologize for not earning your trust sooner. I hope that this is at least a sliver of trust between us.
We've got some base trust now, at least. And if we want to get out of here alive, I think that's the bare minimum.
I would agree. If at all possible, I will do everything in my power to make sure we all leave here alive.
Appreciate that. I look you up and down for a second. I'm like, you do wear too many suits, though. Do you ever relax?
I used to.
It's so sad. We need a drink. All right, let's get out of here.
So you guys are leaving the storage container, yes?
Yes, but before we go, we never came up with are we going further in or leaving? I believe we're going in.
I'm standing by the door, and I'm like, I think the only way out is in.
Yeah.
Okay. So you all begin. You crack the door open. Who's going first?
I will.
Kreg.
Kreg, yeah.
So you step out of the storage container into. The silence is so loud in this cavern, if that makes sense. Like, it is so quiet, except for a very faint thump boom, thump boom, thump boom noise, just very, very soft. There you see, like, basically where, this kind of like spacious cavern that you were in, the path leads down, and there's a path that leads off into a hallway into the darkness. So you can go further, you can go back up, or you can go down the hallway.
Without speaking, I just kind of motion to both of those paths to everyone and question.
Bronwyn's going to motion down.
I point with my bat and point down.
Okay. So you all begin to file down. And it seems like you're walking down this. Do you have something, Luke?
I just wanted to read a bad situation to see, like, about going down this way, about maybe if there's anything I could do.
Okay. Go ahead.
Cool. 4.
Mark me an experience.
Hey, I level up.
Hey.
Also, did I mark experience for the?
Yes.
I just wanted to make confirm. Thank you.
Is that our first level up?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, we suck.
Well, no. Did you level up too? Yeah.
I leveled up last episode.
Oh, okay.
I effed up a lot, y'all.
So
Damn.
Y'all make your way down the stairs, and it goes and goes and goes as it wraps around. It begins to get tighter and tighter. Like basically the cavern wall is kind of on either side of you, and you notice the walls every now and then just kind of undulate and move ever so often. And then Kreg, you're like trying to look for dangers and things, and what you see confuses you. It is a pristine oak door at the bottom of the staircase with a golden knocker and a very nice doorknob. It is pristine.
Wrong way. Turn around.
This is odd. Nika, what do you make of this?
Do I see this?
I mean, yeah, you're all kind of like stacked up on each other, but like you can kind of peek around. You see at the bottom of the staircase is this door.
Is that the only thing?
At the bottom of the staircase, yep.
Oof.
I think I would just look and it's like an anachronism. Like this place is dark and creepy, and suddenly there's just pristine with gold
pristine, beautiful oak door.
It makes me think of the Vision.
Mm-hmm.
I think even Branwen would get a feeling of connecting the dots, like a success, like no secrets. Yes. As you all know, I have the means to access the arcane in its purest form, but that also means in all the ways it can be applied, including divination, and I tend to have visions, and what I saw was something that felt so wrong. It was pure white. It was almost overbearing. And there was a chair and a table. I couldn't move, but someone, an older figure, spoke my name, saying we needed to talk. Hold on, that's not what he says. He says, oh no, that's actually, I guess, saying that we needed to talk. I'm also putting two and two together. The monster outside, when we were in the room, had a need to find, and he looks at Mal, but also seemed afraid of someone named Grandfather. And if Grandfather and the older individual in this vision are one and the same, and there is a pristine, perfect door, so different than what we have seen so far, it only tells me that this might be something that leads towards that individual.
When you guys saw me in the snow that first time, and I had visions of Ben, he mentioned Grandfather. He kept saying how I would love to meet him, and how I should meet him, and that all I had to do was go down into the maw. Maybe that's what they're calling whatever this greater hive mind is.
Either way, we have to go through. And Mal, since you seem to be the target, get in the middle.
It's tight quarter, so I shimmy past.
It's like,
Let me. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry. Ooh, hey, excuse me. Kreg, was that your hand? God, you're tall.
It was not my hand.
especially because he was in the front.
Yeah. It wasn't your hand. Whose hand was it?
Okay. Are you opening the door, Kreg?
I would like to read a bad situation before he does, if possible.
Go for it.
Okay, so I think Kreg is like reaching for it, and then Els just kind of like shimmies in between your legs, and is just like, no, wait.
Understood.
Okay. Plus sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 2. That is a 10. I'm rolling
10.
good tonight.
You're rolling great.
Nice. But that means I don't get to level up.
Okay,
know,
so
right?
which
The
questions?
caveat.
Which questions would you like to ask?
A 10. Cool. I get 3. Okay. Are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
Oh,
So as you kind of like, you're like, wait, and you were looking at the door, you're also, you kind of begin to kind of take out in the surroundings, and then you realize the very faint light from above the stairwell is fading. Like basically from where you're coming from.
Where we're coming from?
So you like, if you're now here, you look back the way you came, you see it's getting darker and darker behind you, back up the stairwell from whence you came.
I thought the top was already closed. Okay.
Well, this because like you came down the stairwell from there was a cavern, big stairwell. You went down it, and as you went down, the cave wall was next to you, right? So you kind of went down, and now the stairwell is darkening behind you from where you came because you've been walking for maybe like 5-10 minutes before you got to this door.
At least it's downhill.
What other questions? And also I would say, like, because just it goes along with that question, it's very obvious, but this door shouldn't be here.
Obviously. I didn't know if
that's a very obvious thing, but like just to make it canon, this doesn't make any sense compared to everything else you've seen. The wreckage of ships, the weird inky floors, and the tentacles and stuff like that. But the fact that there is a pristine door makes no sense.
Okay.
And that makes your brain itch.
It does.
Okay. I think the two other questions I'm going to ask is, and they're a little bit variations of them.
Sure.
What is the safest way forward?
So, you're in a generally dangerous place.
Right.
And you know that the light is disappearing above you, and the thing that was looking for you was above you.
Mm-hmm.
And so as much as it pains to admit it, the unknown in front of you is probably the safest way.
Okay.
Unless you want to directly confront that thing.
Then the final question that I'd like to change slightly is, how can I best protect my friends?
In this moment?
Yeah.
Be the first through the door.
Well, it appears that our exit is swallowing us.
I'm going to get rope from my bag, and I'm going to start tying it around my waist. I'm like,
everyone line up like in grade school.
And like,
I
when Nico realized he's homeschooled, so I continue.
I have no reason to think this, but I am concerned. This door is too clean to be down here. I fear if we go in even separately, we may be divided. I'd like to keep us together, if possible.
Okay, we'll hold on to the rope. Bronwyn's gonna bring up the rear.
Okay.
And she's gonna go into beast mode. Just imagine this big hulking monster woman.
You kind of up against the walls of the hallway now.
Oh, this was a bad idea.
If I may, would it not be better if we all held each other instead of a rope that could be easily severed?
Rope could be severed, but that I'd rather have a rope severed than our hands.
That is fair.
I like her idea.
Very well.
I'm kind of attached to mine.
okay. So then Els reaches and opens the door.
Okay. So you, Kreg?
I would try and stop, and like I would like grab your hand before you like actually turn the handle and say,
Would you like me to go first?
And having that intuition after looking at the door and getting that answer.
Mm-hmm.
Els just kind of like turns around and just like puts her like tiny hands on your one hand and just says,
I wish to protect. Let me go first.
Kreg nods and takes his hand off yours.
I open the door.
You open the door and it just opens, and you see before you, it's an empty cavern. Or at least, from what you can see with how dark it is down here, it looks like an empty cavern.
In we go.
So I start going in. I think I still have like my headlight thing. So I'm shining it at the floor. I'm not looking anywhere else.
So what's the marching order?
Me?
Els? Kreg?
And me. And I'm like trying to be right with Els as she walks in and like.
And then Mal's, right, was in the middle.
Miles.
And then Nico, and then Branwen.
Is Branwen in the back?
Yeah, Branwen said they were bringing up the rear.
I did, and she barely squeezes through this door.
So, it would be Mal that notices it first. As the group of you begin to file in the room, you see Els and Kreg just stop walking. And then as you notice it, Nico, you notice Mal stops walking. And then Branwen, you notice Nico stops walking. And the last thing you hear, Branwen, is the door closing behind you. Today's an exciting day for you all because it's a day that you all get to play your favorite game. You get to sit down in the rec room today and you get to play Dungeons & Dragons. You're so excited to play. It's a game where you get to play pretend and escape, the hospital for a while. And we find Kreg. Kreg, you're in your room. You're fiddling with some of your bracelets that you've been working on during the day, because it's you were going to make them for the group because it's a special day that you get to play. You've got about 5-ish minutes before you're supposed to go to the rec room to play. So what are you getting up to in your room?
Oh, what Kreg does every day. Keeps working, make sure all the bracelets are the right size for all of his friends. He's been working on these for a really long time, trying to make sure that they're like exactly right for everyone. And he's gonna, make sure they're good and looking nice. And then he's gonna go and he's gonna very kind of shuffle his way over to the drawer where he has kept his character sheet. And kind of is going to go over that. And he's playing... probably a paladin. Yeah, Oathbreaker Paladin. That's what he's playing. And he's just making sure he's got all of his notes right and going over the notes from last session. I imagine it's probably a little fuzzy, all the medication he's been on. It sometimes makes it hard to remember things.
Yeah. And you're in this very small, very like stale, or not stale, what's the word? Sterile room. It's like beautifully pristine white. Like everything is clean to the T. You have a very basic desk where you were working with a chair. There's a window to look outside that is barred. A very basic bed with a pillow and a blanket on it. There's a bathroom. And then there's a wrap on the door. And it's Nurse Velma. She has been the nurse that's been taking care of you for the about 6 months that you've been here. She's a very little old lady in, like a very think 1930s, 1940s nurse's outfit. it's very kind of old. She's a very old lady. Her old hair is pulled up into a bun with her little nurse hat on top, and she goes, "Oh, Kreg, dear, it's time for your medication."
Yeah, yes, Velma, thank you. I lost track of time.
Oh, it's all right, dear. And she comes in with a glass of water and a cup with 2 pills.
And I just want to make sure none of this seems weird to Kreg, right? This is totally normal.
So do you grab the pills in the water?
Yeah, I'll take both of them.
Okay. I need you to roll me 2d6 plus sharp.
It's another 4.
So I need you to mark 1 harm for me. As you take the pills and you throw back the water, it's your medication. Nothing seems off. And she goes, doesn't your game start in just a little bit?
Yes, it does. I was just about to head that way before you showed up.
Oh, excellent. Well, have a great time. I'm going to go see the rest of your group before your game.
Oh, thank you, Velma. I appreciate what you do here.
Of course, Kreg. And she taps you on the cheek. All right. And then we head over to Nico's. Nico, you are in your pristinely clean, probably cleaner than everybody else in the hospital's wings rooms. It's nice. It's taken care of. There's lots of journals and books sitting on your desk, and you find yourself reading one of your favorite stories. It's about like this crazy battle between these 6 heroes and this like crazy man who came from space and everything like that. And it's one of your favorite. It's about this series describing this like apocalyptic event called the drowning, but it's all fiction. It's all fake. But you really enjoy it. But what do we find you doing before your game night with your friends?
Stress. I think he is just finishing up that chapter of the story, and he places whatever he, I guess, legally can have to be a bookmark.
It's a bookmark you made in like in group that you have.
Right, yeah.
It's got everybody's name on it.
Oh yeah, everybody signed it. He places that in his book, and he then grabs his other folder with his character sheets and everything. And I think he's probably playing some kind of probably like a chronology wizard. And he's like super excited, grabbing his little dice that you got to make sure they're all the best ones. And I think he's almost like too giddy about going to play because he doesn't normally get to play.
And Nurse Velma comes around the corner and raps on the door, and she goes, "Oh, Nikos, before your game, I have your medication."
Oh, thank you.
And hands you the cup of medication and the water. And please roll 2d6 plus sharp.
Yeah, he has no reason not to take it. 11.
So as like you're about to throw the pills back, your head hurts. As this is wrong, you just walked through, and go ahead and mark an experience for me. But you know that something is wrong. This isn't right. You're not sure what it is yet, but like your brain hurts, like as you're about to take the pills.
Yeah. Okay. He pauses, like, there's probably a noticeable hesitation.
Something wrong, dear?
I need to look at my spell book.
Okay.
The character, I think I did something wrong, and And I have to be secretive. Sorry, there's so. When you play this game, no one else can know what you can do. So thank you for the pill, and I'm going to put it in my mouth, but keep the pill under my tongue.
Okay, I need you to roll me 2d6 plus mundane.
What is mundane?
Is mundane not a... Is that not... No, that's not a score in here. Sorry, that's a different game.
That's masks.
That's masks. That's masks. Roll me 2d6 plus... Let's do sharp again. Let's just do sharp again.
Thank God it's not what I thought it was going to be. Oh! Okay. That's a 4.
So you put the pills into your mouth and mark a harm for me. And that that feeling of something's wrong kind of fades just a little bit.
Yeah, I think there's the intention of trying to put it under the tongue, but he's not smooth. And it totally just goes down his gullet regardless. And he almost chokes.
Make sure to drink the water, dear.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I was just so excited.
It's all right. Well, I have to see the rest of your friends before your game.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Nurse Velma.
Of course. And
Before
she
we
leaves.
Move on, do I revert back to not knowing anything, or is it still confused?
It's less like you're less confused, but it's still like now gnawing at the back of your head.
Great, gotcha. Thank you.
Mel's, we find you in your room. It is a pristine, clean little bedroom. There's car magazines everywhere. It's you've got some car posters on the walls. That's probably the only like non-pristine thing in here. What do we find you doing before game time?
You find Mal distracted. He's got his character sheet on his bed or his cot, but he's made a little like matchbox car just out of like spare scraps of paper that he's been able to put together and like little spools.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing sharp, nothing with sharp edges, just all cardboard stuff that he's modifying it. And he's got like the little hood propped up and he's putting new pieces inside of it that he's also crafted out of cardboard.
Little Nurse Velma comes around the corner and goes, "Oh, Miles, how are you doing today?"
Hey, Nurse Velma. I'm good. I'm just putting in a little turbo in my car.
Oh, of course.
I just really need to get that speed to make that jump from across the tables. The cafeteria tables. I'm trying to make that, and I keep falling just a little short.
Oh, well, I'm sure you're going to get it. Before I forget, I have to take your medication before your game.
Oh, I didn't know it was that time already. Yeah.
Oh,
I get up, I put my in this little garage, and I grab the drink and grab the pills.
Roll me 2d6 plus sharp.
I join the 4 club.
Y'all got to stop calling it 10. Okay, I thought you rolled poorly because you paused.
Well, because I looked at the 4 and I didn't want to look at the other one.
Mark me an experience. And same thing that I described for Nico. As you take the cups, something is wrong. This isn't right. You're not sure what is right, but something is off here.
Look at Nurse Velma. All right, down the hatch. I turn to the side, and I want to try to flick the cup and land the pills down my shirt, down the collar.
Okay, roll 2d6 plus cool.
Oh, that's my good one. That is 9 plus 2. 9 plus 1, 10. That's 10.
Okay. Yeah, she doesn't notice.
Great. And then I go to sip the water, but I don't actually let it go down. I just kind of purse my lips and let it touch them. And I shove the other little paper cup into it and fold them up and toss them in the bin.
She goes, "Well, have fun at your game. I have 2 more of your friends I need to see."
Thanks. Tell them I look forward to seeing them.
Of course. Branwen, we find you in your room, and we probably would find, from what equipment they have allowed you to have, some workout equipment, some, texts about martial arts and books about, things like that and of that nature. What do we find you doing before game?
Probably if there's a kickboxing bag or just like a little punchy bag, probably just like getting a few punches in, kind of like working up a little bit of a sweat before game, gotta stay primed and ready for being in the hospital.
Right. And you hear the little rap at the door, and Nurse Velma goes, "Oh, hard at work as always, I see, Branwen."
Yeah. Just kind of have to always, gotta be in tip-top shape to like exist, I guess.
Oh, of course. I could move like you when I was your age.
Yeah? Do you want to take a swing at it?
Oh, I don't think these frail old bones could take it.
That is, I'm sorry. You're right. Yep.
Oh, it's all right. It's time for your medication.
Oh, yeah, and don't I have, I think I've got D&D soon.
Oh, yes, you have your game.
Right. I'm gonna grab my character sheet. She plays a barbarian. Just wanted you guys to know. And she goes over to take the pills.
Roll for me. 2d6 plus sharp.
Oh, I love how I can't even do basic math. I have to pull up my freaking calculator. You said plus sharp?
Yeah.
I have no bonuses to sharp. That's a 10.
A 10?
Yes.
Something's off. Something's wrong. This isn't right. But you're not sure what.
Can I feel what Nico felt?
So you felt a bit of like you pulled a muscle. So make sure you mark the same harm that Nikos took. And
Forgot about that.
But you also, I didn't. But you probably have a little. Both of you have this just gnawing feeling in the back of your head that something is off. Something is wrong.
Okay. Let's see. We already had under the tongue. We already had down the side. Branwen is going to take it and go, "Wow, sure do love these pills." And she's gonna crunch it and pretend to swallow. Just go, Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need you to roll me plus cool.
Shit. No. I don't have a -1 to
'cause
cool.
You still put them in your mouth.
I did put it in my mouth. Oh, but not bad. An 8? Is an 8 okay?
So you go, as you crunch it, and she goes, "Well, have fun at your game." And you have the immediate need to vomit because as you crunch, it squishes. And has the texture of escargot.
I'm gonna spit it out in the trash can.
Yep. And when you spit it out in the trash can, it's like goopy black.
Oh, shit. Okay. I'm gonna grab my character sheet and book it to the rec room.
Okay. And then we find ourselves with Els. Els, you are in a different room than everybody else. Your room isn't a pristine bedroom like everyone else's. Yours is a pristine room with nothing in it but padding along the walls and the floor and the ceiling. And the door opens and the little nurse walks in. And Els, you know this is wrong. you know that this is not where you're supposed to be. You knew where you were before this. And the nurse goes, well, hello, Els. How are you feeling today?
Caged.
Oh, well, that's all right. Well, you have to, behave. You can't be attacking the doctors.
What do you want?
Well, it's time for your medication, Els.
Is the door open?
No, she closed it behind her.
I recognize the room, but am I restrained?
You look down, your arms are bound in a straitjacket. Are you going to take your medicine?
Have I ever?
No.
Then
But-
you know my answer.
Well, if you want to see your friends again, I suggest you take your medication.
I suggest you talk to Grandpa.
And that's where we're going to stop for tonight, folks. Thank you all so much for joining us for this episode of Mysteries of the Maw. Hope you have a lovely rest of your evening. I have been Alex Bard, your game master. Thank you so much to Tumidlynx as Kreg. Thank you so much to Sydney of Hightower as Branwen. Thank you so much to Latinos Against Spooky Shit as Mouse. Welcome back, by the way. Thank you so much to CriticalBard as Nikos. And thank you so much to Jackie Elena Chan as Els. We will see you all next time. Mwah!